So over the past year, I've been trying to get more and more into miniature painting and crafting and stuff like that. That's kind of why this channel is starting. But the thing is, I'm nervous about painting. This 3D printed bust, I'm kind of nervous about painting. This scares the shit out of me. So you might be wondering what scares the shit out of me. About a year or so ago, I backed MiniWarGaming's Ravaged Star Kickstarter, and I just got all these models. I fully backed their Kickstarter. This is 190 models, all laid out, and it is a little intimidating. But as we look through a lot of these models, you're gonna see it's even more intimidating with the level of detail that is on just one of these models. So let's start unboxing and let's just look at what all we got and what all a beginner miniature painter has to look forward to and is kind of scared of.
So when I backed this campaign, I thought these were going to be like Games Workshop models. I've got a few of those, and I thought, it'll be like that. They come on sprues in a decently small box or a decently thin box, and you have to assemble them yourself. Nope, these come as fully assembled out of the box models. Since I mentioned Games Workshop, I am going to compare a lot of these models to Warhammer 40k models that they kind of are in like a general sense kind of the same size. First, let's talk about the big boxes. The war packs that are the main thing for this campaign. First is the Veil Touched War Pack. I think it's the most basic pack because it's just a lot of infantry. And I mean a lot of infantry. To equate this war pack to 40k models, these are your Chaos Space Marines or like regular Space Marine sized models. Same size and all that. You get 56 regular models that are 32 millimeters with a bunch of different weapons, a lot of melee weapons, and then you also get 4 banner holders that are that size, and 4 leaders that are actually 40 millimeter ones. Altogether, it's 64 insanely detailed miniatures that just look awesome. And you can probably already see why I'm scared of these boxes. Next up, we have the Dominarian War Pack. This set is full of smaller cultist type models with 2-liter models and 8 marine sized models with heavy firepower. Basically, if I'm gonna equate these to anything in 40k, this is Gene Stealer Cult. All of the cultists are smaller than the Veil Touched War Pack infantry, coming in at probably around 28 millimeters, and they're basically the size of, a normal human model in 40k. And like all of the other models in this line, they're intimidating as hell because of their insanely detailed models. Are we seeing a through line here now? The third war pack is the Armored Carnage War Pack. This one's got some of your big boys in it. Not like Knight level big, but like Terminator and Rhino level big. This pack comes with the only models you have to assemble, the armored personnel carriers, and a bunch of, larger marine type models. These are 40 millimeter based models that are kind of like Terminator size models. So they line up with like the larger, heavier hitting units with their 40 millimeters, or the larger heavy hitting units slash leader units. These are some of my favorite, honestly, just because I love Terminators. I think Terminators look awesome, and these guys look awesome. The fourth war pack in this first campaign from Ravaged Star is the Horrors of the Veil War Pack. This is your demonic looking war pack, like your chaos demons, basically. Exposed skulls with flesh ripped back, tentacles, bone weapons, destroyed armor, stuff like that. Where everything else looks to be at least partially still human-ish, this box is completely demonic. It also has the 2 largest models from the whole entire range, with, a shit ton of detail. You have Yashara, which is like a demoness succubus type looking model. Basically, I think of it kind of as Lilith from Diablo 4 in miniature model form. and Lord Tyrek on a Assalian Devourer, which honestly, I hate this model because it feels like there is a lot going on. Like maybe there's a bit too much going on there. With the tail and all those tentacles, it feels like it's kind of much. Like more so than all the other like super intricately detailed models. I love it. I think they're super interesting, but goddamn, it's a lot going on with these models. And that's it for the big boxes with lots of models in them. There's just a few more boxes and models to check out that are a bit smaller and kind of the extras that you could have gotten from the campaign. For these bigger extras, there's a second Assalian Devourer, but without Lord Tyrek. It only has a big gun on its back instead of a person. It has everything else that the Assalian Devourer has with Lord Tyrek on there, but it's just a big gun instead of a person. Then there's another transport, but this model can be decked out with a big gun. Like a big turret gun. Okay, it's not that big, but it's pretty big. It's a pretty big turret on there. And there's also a guy riding in the smaller turret with a machine gun. So he can go bop, 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 bop. Then you have a couple of unit elite packs with Ascended units and the Veil Touched Abominations. The Ascended elite pack is a 10-man squad of the Marine type models from the Veil Touched War Pack, but, you know, with more guns. They're the same 32mm models, but, you know, they use guns instead of melee weapons. Because the Veil Touched models have a lot of melee weapons and pistols, these guys are all carrying guns. You got your, you got rifles, you got big machine guns, and it's just they're all carrying guns instead of melee weapons. Then you have the Veil Touched Abominations. They're just some big, badass boys. They're on 50mm bases and are hefty boys. Big guns, small guns, towering over the normal Marine models. I think they go with the Horror of the Veil pack because they feel like they're Horror of the Veil pack-ish. More so than, you know, just the Veil Touched ones. But I'm not entirely sure. You can probably use them however you want. That's just how I feel. And then to round out the boxes from the campaign, there are a couple of characters that were included by themselves. You have Lord Tyrek on his own without the Assalian Devourer. He's on a 40mm base and carries the biggest sword I've seen on a person type model. Like it's a big sword. It's a long sword, big, it's toothy, it looks like it hurts to get hit by. And then you have the Heralds of Stark, or Strack. I think it's Strack. It's a weird spelling, but I think it's Strack, which this is comprised of 3 different models. You have a large 40mm model accompanied by 2 28mm models. Basically, they look like a corrupted priest and his acolyte. And that's it. That's everything from MiniWarGaming's first Ravaged Star campaign, because I backed it at like the highest tier because I wanted all these models. I think these models are fantastic, and you know, like I've said a few times in the video, they are super intricate and very detailed, and that is the reason why they scare me shitless. Now let's answer that beginning part of the video. Why did I show you all of these models, and why did I make sure to tell you that I'm a beginner when it comes to miniature painting? Well, one of the goals I have for this new channel is to become a better artist, whether it's miniature painting, sketching, coloring with alcohol markers, using Photoshop and doing digital painting, doing stuff in Unreal Engine. I just want to try and learn about different things that interest me and build on that with each video I make. I said I'm a beginning miniature painter, and that is why this amount of detail and intricacy scares the shit out of me, because I haven't done a lot of miniature painting. But this is a big project that I do want to work on, and I'm going to give myself a hard deadline of when this whole line has to be painted. Like when the whole Ravaged Star line has to be painted. Every war box, or every war pack, every elite pack, all of it. That deadline I'm setting is August 31st, 2024. Why am I setting it so far away? Because I want to develop some of my skills and techniques using other smaller projects. Stuff to like, you know, practice, get some confidence on, build up to this. And then, you know, maybe starting beginning of next year or a little bit into it, I go and I start this project and we get it done by then, by August 31st. And some of those things that I want to do on this channel within like that first year are things like painting a set of Necrons from Warhammer 40k, or maybe working on some of the Space Wolves that I have, maybe 3D printing some models and painting them up. There's also some terrain pieces and boards I want to build. And just everything right now is going to lead up to this big project and another big project that I have planned. And I hope you guys will come along on this journey with me. If you do want to stick around for this journey and see how all of this is going to turn out and all of these other probably insane projects that I have in my head, how they're going to turn out, how they're even going to start, then hit that like button and hit subscribe to help the channel out tremendously. And after you do that, I hope you have a royal day.